Hey friends, welcome back to Black Queer Unapologetic. I'm JoJo, and I want to start this episode, I guess, grounded in honesty and transparency. I guess so. I've been unemployed at this point. When this comes out, it'll be about 2 months, and we're heading towards Valentine's Day, which already is putting a certain kind of energy in the air. People are starting to check in, and people are starting to ask questions they normally wouldn't, and getting all up in your business. And people start to project timelines, expectations onto us. And when I say us, I'm talking about single people. And if you've been listening to the last couple episodes, you already know the bigger story. I've already talked about being single for a long time. I've talked about walking away from a job that was costing myself. I've talked about being tired and not wanting to perform success anymore, and the stability and all the things, right? I'm not going to repeat any of that today. I just want to talk about like what I've noticed as things have progressed as I've been unemployed. This episode is about what happens after all of that. So, um, basically, because I didn't expect this part and I didn't think it was that important, but it says a lot more about dating and money and a lot of the other things that we are normally attracted to or conditioned to be. So, anyway, let's talk about it.
Hey, black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. I know who I am, now you know what I'm about. I say the thoughts in my head out loud. Let's get into it, let's pick up the flow though. Brought to you by the one they call JoJo. Black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. Let's go.
Before I stopped working, dating felt very charged. Like, not bad or hostile or anything like that, just tense in a way that I didn't necessarily have language for at the time. And I could feel people kind of clocking me kind of early, like trying to place me, trying to understand what kind of role they think that I would play in their life, what kind of role I play in my own life. And I figured out, I guess, trying to figure out if they like me as a person or if they were into me or whatever. Other things as well. It didn't even have to be like an emotional thing. It could be like a sexual thing. And the word that kept coming back to me, as I mentioned before, is intimidating. And it wasn't because that I was loud or arrogant or unkind, but because I was pretty damn solid. And that's not me trying to toot my own horn or anything like that, even though I would. But when you're a solid person, people start comparing, and even if they don't mean to, they do it anyway. And I didn't realize how much of that shaped my dating experiences until the moment that solidity that I projected, at least on paper, disappeared. So when I stopped working, I expected dating to get awkward. You know, people are like, oh, I have a job, and, what are you doing with your life, and blah, blah, blah. Because that's what I'm used to. Like, even when I did have a job and like the different types of jobs that I've had in back in the day, like, that's what I'm used to. That's what people have um, done and said, and things like that. And even when I had good jobs, like the jobs that I had, like, oh, he does this for work, like I don't like that or whatever. And when you have conversations with friends and you hear things like out when you're about in amongst the people or whatever, you hear the same stuff. People comparing about jobs and money and what people do for work and like whether somebody's using another person, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I expected people to pull back and have judgment, and I expected silence. What I didn't expect was how much softer things felt and how much support people actually had, which was really interesting for me. Conversations kind of slowed down, and like there was a lot of empathy and honesty in conversations, and people asked me more genuine questions. They were less posturing and less trying to size me up or see what I was all about, and there was no competition factor. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just stating facts. And it confused me at first because we're taught that unemployment makes you less desirable. I feel like it's a societal thing, especially with Black communities. People look at unemployed Black people as if we're lazy or if we're, have no drive, no motivation, things like that. But the more I kind of sat in it, the more I realized that what actually changed wasn't my worth. It was more so the dynamic. By being unemployed, it was acting as a filter. And I don't mean like in a dramatic way or like in a not even in a financial way. I mean in the like practicality, meaning I know I can make more money later. I've done it before and I'll do it again. And that's the attitude that I currently have. So if someone is uncomfortable with me because I'm not producing right now, that tells me something important about them and about what they are actually looking for. And I'm okay with that information because I'm no longer interested in being chosen only when I'm impressive and having to be on all the time. That was why I quit my job in the first place because I can't be on all the time. I can't keep performing these things and being pushed and then told that I'm not good enough and then pushed again and the goalpost keeps moving and being pushed into a role of constant performance and constant improvement and constant stability. Like being the breadwinner all the time. Like I'm not built for that. Like it's exhausting. I don't think anybody should do that, to be honest. But here's where this gets deeper for me. As a Black man, there is a very specific role that gets projected onto you early. You have to be better. You're supposed to be strong, stable. You're supposed to figure it out quietly. Don't be vulnerable, telling everybody your business, all of that shit. And as a Black man, that role doesn't disappear. It just becomes more complicated as you get older because now you're navigating masculinity and desirability, safety, and success all at the same time. Often in spaces that were never designed with you in mind. And as a single Black gay man, the pressure intensifies. You're expected to be exceptional just to be considered. And people don't like to have this conversation, but I am going to say it. We, as Black men, are expected to be more impressive than our white counterparts. And I'm saying it, and people might disagree with me, but I am saying it because it is true. And the reason why I know it is true is because I've seen it over and over and over again. I've seen it in quote unquote preferences. I've seen it in the ability of individuals with different color skin. A Black gay man can look a certain way and be seen as average. A white man could look the exact same way and be considered exceptional or whatever. We have to work harder in our careers. We have to work harder in our appearance. We have to work harder all the time to be considered exceptional, and attractive. And that kind of sucks to have to be more stable and more accomplished and more put together to be deemed worthy of being seen as dateable or attractive. And that pressure doesn't always come from malice. Sometimes it just comes from conditioning, which is, as an adult, that for me at least, that no longer is an excuse. Like you grow up with the conditioning, you either choose to decondition yourself or you can continue to live by it. And if you continue to live by it, then I'm looking at you sideways. But either way, it's exhausting and nobody should have to deal with that. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. I say all that to say, I have no intention of being the strong one all the time anymore. I don't want to be the automatic provider. I don't want to be the emotional anchor. I don't want to be the person who never needs anything because all that shit is a lie. The role has followed me through friendships and dating and work and family. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, who benefits from me being always okay and always never needing anything and always being the strong one, always being responsible? Who benefits from that? Because I don't want to be loved for what I can give and stabilize and absorb and handle all the time. Like if that's what I'm being loved for, and then I can't do it, then what happens? I want to be liked and loved for me, not my output, not my resume, not my ability to make life easier for somebody else all the time. Granted, I am a person of service. I like to do nice things for people, but I do not want to be responsible for doing that all the time. And that is the only reason that you want to be with me, is because you know that I'm going to take care of you because that's who I am as a person. Fuck that. That's it. Like, no. It's like, oh, well, why wouldn't they like you or love you if they knew you were going to take care of them? That's not the point. The point is that if that is the only reason or the main reason why, I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm not subscribing to it anymore. Like, I'm just not. I don't want to prove my worth and all of that stuff. I'm just over it. So with Valentine's Day coming up, I can feel how different this year is. And in past years, this time of year kind of came with like pressure to look settled and be okay and have answers and like look for dates and, like try to be on and meet the guy to go out with, Valentine's week or that kind of thing. And this year, I don't feel any of that. Not because I don't want the connection, because I do, but because I'm not auditioning for it anymore. And ironically, that's made dating feel lighter and actually more fun, which is kind of nice. And this season, my dating pool is actually a lot better than it's been in a long time, which is really, really strange for me. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I guess the pool has been refined by adjustments that I've been making in my life. And now there's people who can sit with uncertainty and people who don't panic when someone isn't producing and people who don't need me to be impressive all the time for them to feel secure. Those are the people that are currently orbiting me right now. And those are the kind of people that I want in my life. Not because I don't want to do anything, but because I can do things, but I also need to take breaks. And they're okay with me taking breaks. Everybody else can just move on. And I'm not mad about that at all. I don't expect not having a job and being in a transitional phase to fix all my problems, but I do expect it to give me mental space to figure things out and also to see things more clearly. And so one of the things that I am seeing more clearly is my dating life. Also starting to kind of see things more clearly about what I want out of my work life. I'm excited. And I'm also not like overthinking it and not taking things personally. And I'm open to just like meeting new people and like seeing how they are receptive to where I'm at in my life. And at the end of the day, like having a career that makes, a bunch of money and like provides like the physical stability, that did not bring me connections in regards to even like networking. Like with work, relationships, those even for me have not been the best. And with dating, that was pretty non-existent. Like it was mostly people who were impressed by a resume, to say the least. So like now I'm kind of moving through it with people who are giving me more grace, which I can appreciate because it's like, oh, like he could do it if he wanted to. And I know that he would do it. Like I don't need to force him or I don't need to judge him or anything like that. And I appreciate that. And I hope that everybody can meet someone who doesn't have to force them to pick up the slack all the time because they're the one who wants to be lazy or pampered or be the princess. Like, fuck that. I don't know. My image of a relationship is rather partnership. is actual partners, like people who are working together for a common goal and common interest versus one person who's the baby being taken care of and another person who's doing all the shit. Now, if that dynamic works for you, great. I can't be either one. I don't want nobody spoiling me because you have too much power, and that makes me uncomfortable. And I don't want to be the one spoiling you because now I'm tired and exhausted and I can't carry this shit all the time because I need breaks too, right? So if you're listening to this and you're in a transition, financially, emotionally, professionally, whatever it is, I want you to hear this clearly. None of that makes you broken, behind, or unlovable. It doesn't make you difficult or lazy, any of that. And if you're a person of color and you're dating people who judge you for that, fuck them and move along to somebody who will actually respect your need to take a rest, because you don't have to earn it. You are entitled to take rest. Just make sure you're being responsible. And you don't have to earn love by being impressive all the time, because nobody is impressive all the time. Nobody. Dating while unemployed is making things a lot clearer for me. And it's showing me who's actually capable of meeting me where I am at and where I want to go and where I'm not at my peak, or when I'm not at my peak. And it's helping me release the idea that I have to be strong all the time. Because even though I've known that for a while, it's been hard for me to let that go. And I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of it. And it's reminded me that my worth doesn't disappear just because my job did. I can make money later. What I'm choosing now is honesty and alignment and being a full human being. And I'm choosing love and fun and excitement and spontaneity. And that is going to be what is going to push me forward for the next couple of months while I'm figuring everything else out. But anyways, this is going to be a short one. Thank you for listening. I will maybe provide dating updates as they come. Or maybe I won't, because it's really nobody's business. Yeah, I'm JoJo, and this is Black Queer Unapologetic. And as always, stay Black, stay queer. And if you are neither, always stay unapologetic. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.